Hey, howdy, hey, neighbor. It's your neighbor, Private Patton. And I want to talk to you guys about what the heck happened in Xfinity, New Hampshire. If you are watching this immediately after my Fastlane episode for Cup at Road America, you will know why I put Xander in the hot pocket. That's what my mind went to in the power rankings. But I'm going to kind of step on back and say that New Hampshire, for the Xfinity boys and girls, had a absolutely perfect reason about why you should join the MRL family. New Hampshire was one of those races that had strategy, that had general race pace, as well as general etiquette among the drivers. New Hampshire is known for being the magic mile, of course. And on this game, it is very, very tight going into the corner. The car does not want to turn, and then when it finally does, you get loose coming off. So it is a driver's track through and through. Being able to modulate the throttle and make sure you have the best tires going at the end of the race, that is the key to winning. And especially in an Xfinity car where your right rear is as good as toast after like 5 laps. That's when you start feeling the tire wear and how much of a struggle it is to maintain proper pace around here. So because of that, I want to start from the beginning here. As you can see, this was a field of 9 for the Sunday Xfinity. We're going to be starting with Sunday, much like we always do, because this race came first. And then we'll get to the Monday series later. So Sunday and Monday did have, well, both have 9 drivers in it. Meaning, we have a rule, and I just want to clarify for everyone, that if we have 8 or less drivers racing on a given day, we will be racing a 25%. But since we had 9 drivers here, we raced 100 laps, a 50% race for both guys, or for both races, both days. And because of that, as you can see on Sunday, we have RS Meatwagon in Xander in his redemption arc from the previous day's mishap. He went on record and said, I'm looking for redemption. Not just for GMI, not just for his teammates, but for him personally, and go out and win this race. Can he do it? We'll see. Alongside, you have BS 14 cars, one of the Xfinity regulars. Behind him in the 54, you have Mopawa Cat. Now remember, going into this race, these two are tied in the points. Tied. And this is race 3 of the season. Next, we have another Xfinity regular, which is Dees. He's looking to make himself a home in the Cup Series next season. Behind, you have the 21 of T-Bird, Justin Shackett, who did decide to race this race. A new arrival, Mopawa Energy. He wanted to make a start here in the Xfinity Series. Then after that, we have a guest appearance from Selling Dreams right here, as well as... That's not it. There we go. As well as Napa Fan in the 20. Now, Napa Fan, this is his first start. He is in that 20 back there. You can't really see him until you get right here. But yeah, Napa Fan is in that 20 right there. And this was his first start back from MRL ever since his Cup appearance in race 4 of the season. So Napa Fan, welcome back. Hopefully we can see more of you. So to kind of just give a general look at how this race began, you ideally want to be on top. You can see a bunch of different ways to run this track, and you're going to see here in the first lap, you can run low and slow here on the bottom, or you can run it high and dry up in the second and third lane. So because of that, Xander, having priority, chose the bottom, which is a very interesting choice, because I personally would have chose the top. So because of that, as you can see in the chat right here, Liam was supposed to be in this race. but did not show up. So having that in mind, his team owner Brandon was just like, man, he's fired. And then I even make the note right here saying that, hey, why aren't you up here? Why are you commenting watching the race when you're supposed to be down there racing? But you can see right here the general calamity that is to go all the way around here in one lap and go 3 wide. This field is so even, folks, and I want to make that perfectly evident as you see people running the apron, people running the top, people running the middle. We're on board with Justin Shackett, who had a perfect shot as the 98 hits the wall right there of everything. Xander was able to get away and grab the lead again. Right behind, you have Mopowa Cat in the 54. Again, tied in points right behind. So because of that, it's going to be a general theme of those two trying to make their way through the field. And as you can see, like I said, very interesting lines being formed. People running the apron, people running up top, people running low, people running the middle. New Hampshire, for all intents and purposes, is one of those tracks that you can go anywhere, but as long as you have that corner speed, you'll be fine. Right there, you can see the 11 pounds the wall and drops back to P2. But don't worry, he'll be back. So we're going to kind of skip ahead here a little bit. You can see that the top two have kind of escaped a little bit. There is a caution that's going to be coming out here in a hot second. Right here. That's going to be coming out here in a few laps. Keep in mind, this is still like lap 6, something like that right here. And so you can see the field has already started spreading on out. And you have the top two pulling away. Here is third of D's. Fourth is Napa. Fifth is Xander. The lead has gone to UK. My bad. Getting ahead of myself. But right here, the reason why you can see that Xander is so far back is he went on record and after the race and said that, yeah, I was on a preset 4, which is insanely tight. As soon as he found out that we were doing a full 100 laps, full 50% race, then he immediately dropped his preset from what was originally going to be like a preset 6, which would allow for a better shorter run in exchange for a worse longer run. And he went to a preset 4, which now the car is starting to come to him. So we're going to skip ahead here. And like I said, you can see the caution has already come out. I don't entirely know what caused the caution, apart from potentially the wall glitch, which if you don't know, there is actually a wall glitch here. If you run along the wall right here, eventually the wall will catch you out. It's to prevent people from wall riding around here and gaining lap time from that. So that is the reason why, or at least so I heard, the caution came on out. Unfortunately right here, the 98 did not pit, and that absolutely kills his strategy. And it's going to be coming up here later on about why that's important. So that is a key here. So that allowed the 54, my bad, I was looking at the 20 right there, to kind of get onto the lead. However, the 18 of these showed up this race. It's interesting to see that the 18, he was practicing. You can tell right now he knows how to run this track, how aggressive you can be, at the same time how clean you can be. Both getting very respectful with each other and giving plenty of space like that. Like the 18 giving plenty of space on corner exit. So because of that, you have Justin Shackett right here kind of watching this, looking to see who to go with if the top lines can prevail at the bottom, and he's going to look to the inside of Mopowa Cat right here. However, that draft is what's preventing him. And however, you look back and you see Boogity, you have Xander here in the 11 taking that high side, which is going to allow him to have that corner exit. However, with him being so tight on the short run, cannot make use of it. Now, we're going to kind of skip ahead here a little bit. This should be good right here. You can see the top two have kind of escaped a little bit. These two are still going at it. I gave the 54 props after the race, saying that he was so patient with the 18 all race. And this is like lap 35, I do believe, at this point. It's it's about 2/3 of the way done with this particular stint, but it's insane of how patient the 54 was with the 18. While the 18 was faster in the short run, the 54 I feel was better in the long run. But right now it's so hard to pass cleanly around here that it's allowing the 11 to get closer. And that's going to be interesting, especially as the run goes on. Because you're going to see 4 drivers be within a spitting distance, a literal, like, pull a blanket over, and I'm going to cover the entire top 4. We're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit. Here's what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, and if I look behind, yeah, right here. The first stops are happening. The 21 has already pit. He was very adamant on taking the pit early approach to gain time being on fresher tires. However, that hurts his long run. So we're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit. As you can see, the 20 has unfortunately DNF'd from this race. He is our first casualty of the race. The 54 I thought was speeding, did not, but you can see the 21 right there gaining that ground. The 13 staying out super long is now the race leader come around this time. He will get his first laps led of his MRL career. Golf clap. But yeah, he will get the points for doing that. And we're going to kind of skip ahead here. And you have first, second, third, fourth. All within a stone's throw of each other. And this is going to be a recurring thing all the way through, because apart from that, there's the rest of the field is kind of remain quiet. BS, kind of on a strategy of his own, is trying to make his way through the field. Remember, he forgot to pit under that caution, so he is kind of tiptoeing around here, but he's doing his damnedest to make the best out of a bad situation. But yeah, look at that. First, second, third, fourth, and then you have fifth of Justin Shackett back here. But keep in mind about where they finish. So let's use our big brains here and try to predict who wins, because I couldn't. I couldn't when it happened. We're going to kind of skip ahead here to, because like I said, pretty much the only thing that changes is BS and Justin Shackett. Everyone else kind of remains the same. However, we will see the second stop, which then makes this race, it is a 2-stop regardless. But you can see that there are some that took 2, like right up here. Sorry, that's the 13. We're going to skip ahead of here a little bit. Right here. You can see that there's some that took 2, which are these 2 up here. And some that took 4, like the 18 and the 21. Now, the 11 and 54 took 2. This is after the second stop, and is trying. That's the battle for the lead. This is the battle for third now. So the 21, utilizing his fresher tires, was able to gap the 18 here. Now the 18 is trying to chase him on down, not just for P3, but his first MRL podium of his career. Actually, let me double check that here for a second. That's not it. D's, yeah. Spoiler alert, he does. But yeah, I had to double check my method there. But yeah, we're going to kind of skip on ahead to that battle, because right now the 11 was pulling away from the 54. He's going to win this race handily, and this is the battle for P3 right now. We were on board with this, looking from that lovely top-down approach. As you can see, the 18 has so much fresher tires. He gets the pass done right here, and is there anything that the 21 can do about it? He tries to do the crossover, and unfortunately was not able to do it. The 18 is going to be able to be pulling away. And right now, the 11, redemption at his hands for Road America, goes out and wins the dang thing. We're coming to the white flag right now. You can tell he's super stoked about it. He revs out the engine, shifts down, and allows for the 54 to also do the same. So that is P1 and 2. The 18 of D's. We were on board with that battle for a brief second because that is a battle for P5. The 10 giving no quarter, the 98 giving even less, allows for the 98, despite all odds, to go from last to 5th in that race. So we're going to kind of go into the race results here. Xander did take the point lead because of his finish. Remember, like I said, they were neck and neck going into this race. Now that is a 5-point deficit, so that's easy right there. Dees was able to get his first MRL podium of his career, so right there, good job. T-Bird, P4, redemption from Road America in his own right there, as well as BS 14 cars making the best out of a bad situation and being able to get a top 5. Now, Napa Fan was the only one that did not have that did not finish that race, and Liam did get last place points, so that gives the points like this. BS was able to gain a spot on Justin Shackett because of that pass, which is weird if you think about it, because not only was that a pass for a top 5, but that was a pass for P3 in the standings. So he was able to gain, and naturally Xander, by beating out UK, was able to gain 5 points. So now the gap is only 5 points. 1 position, 1 lap led away from his championship rival going into Mid-Ohio. So, Dees, with that lovely finish, was able to get within a stone's throw of P3 for the standings. Liam, because of his last place points, was able to solidify P6. Trump Train, because of not showing up, was not the benefactor of last place points because he didn't put in a lap. So he lost 3 spots right there. Very unfortunate because he was looking forward to this race. Same thing with Casey here. 2 Xfinity exclusive guys that really get hurt in the long run, as we'll see here in a second. But yeah, good job, good show from these guys. Xander especially, having that racing redemption right there. Woo! Going into Monday. Monday was a different story. So you already can see some of the Sunday boys going in here. Now we have a different set of numbers here, so different set of racers, as well as a guest for our in-race reporter. Commentator Dale, Cade was actually the one out on track here, and Baseball Kid was both pulling double duty in the chat as well as racing on track. We're actually on board with him right now. So right now the poll was set by Nathan, Agent Orange. Remember, he had that wonderful P6 at Road America and was able to get pole from Worst Cod. Now the rest of the qualifying is looking like such. We did actually only have 2 people that put in a lap, which is weird to say the least. And Nathan was able to was the benefactor of that by getting pole. Worst Cod P2, Kalen P3, Packers 4th, Baseball Kid 5th, Dakota did not race, so I gifted Blakey T P6. Brandon changed his schedule slightly. He actually posted that Mid-Ohio was going to be his return, but after seeing how good of a race New Hampshire was, as well as a little bit of wink, wink, nudge, nudge from his teammate Cade, saying that, hey, I'm going to be in there as well, he decided to race. Piper and Cade rounded up the field with Dakota, Cyber, Mopawa, I Spun Higgins right here, Pro hit the pace car, D. Smith, Jagger, and Icy all not being able to make it. So it was another 9-car field, and we're going to see a bit of the same thing here. Pardon me. We're going to see a bit of the same thing here of the difference in lines. I'm just going to kind of allow all this in all of its glory to kind of
Looks
play
like the
on out
outside lane, led
for
by
the first
Warscott,
lap.
did not have a good start, but you can see the lines already being developed here with the 11 and the 61 diving it down below the apron. The 7's in the wall, and the 20 has nowhere to go, being checked up. Brandon, the 89, takes it 3 wide and passes 3 cars. Now here is going to be where you're going to see a lot of contact being made right here. Who is going to be the last of the late breakers going into turns 1 and turns 3 here? The 89.
So because of that, you saw people go upside, inside, out, living La Vida Loca. And the biggest gains out of all of that was Brandon in the 89 and the 61 of Blakey T. These guys were the ones to watch here. Originally, it was the 51 and 54 that were supposed to be the best ones. As you can see, they already put in a gap between 3rd and 4th right here. And that would unfortunately not be true. As we kind of skip ahead a little bit, we see that the 51, while still being in the lead, the 54 has started falling back. Now the 61 is trying to chase on down the 51. The 51 is starting to struggle, very much so. The 89 is starting to get better. The 61 has already got to that moment right here, while the 8 has moved himself into P5 with that pass in the background. That was on, I do believe, Piper? No, that wasn't Piper. That was on Packers right there. So yeah, that was a good pass right there. So that put Cade into P5. But yeah, Nathan Agent Orange there. My bad, Baseball Kid. All the above. Baseball Kid was one of those drivers that had a good show in the beginning. So again, we'll get to that here in a second. Yeah, you're gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit, and you can see that now the 51 has absolutely lost the lead and is starting to lose up more ground because of the initial adjustments that he's going to make here. Coming to the first stop, the 61 has made his way to the point. The 89 kind of following him right now. Everyone's still on a base preset. The pit stops have yet to happen, but are soon to happen. Well, soon. You can see the difference in strategy with some people short pitting, like the 51 here. And there are some people that are going to go long in order to get a lap ahead. So it's a very interesting strategy about how people did it. Packers was one of the last people to come on down pit road. I wasn't quite sure on his strategy about pitting late, but it was to try to catch a caution. Of course, me being monkey brained, I couldn't figure that out in the beginning. But yeah, skipping on ahead here, you can see that Cade has come to life. He's made his way from the rear of the field, from P9, driving the Hellman's Mayonnaise of Dale Jr. here, and trying to get P4. Everyone kind of is shaking on out to where they have been. And keep in mind, this is all still without a caution. This has been continuous green flags. No pits, well, only one pit stop, but no cautions, and one additional stop to kind of compromise anyone. And still, there are 6 people realistically within the win right now. With first being Blakey T, he's starting to pull away a little bit, and rounding up the caboose on this train is the 11 of Baseball Kid, leaving Packers, Piper, and Worscott as the only odd ones out. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Baseball Kid has found his footing as the 54 is starting to drop on back. The 54, unfortunately, is starting to lose his ground here. The 51 as well is commenting that he is not able to keep his right rear in check. So while he does have a fast car, his right rear is not able to actually keep up with it. So he's burning out his stuff and not able to do the things he wants to do. Now, it's, again, very interesting use of lines here. As you can see, Baseball Kid able to go from the top all the way down to the apron and still be side by side with the 54. Very clean, all very clean racing, as it is so hard to pass here cleanly. However, you can see the 61 has absolutely pulled on away. There is no stopping him now. We're going to skip ahead a little bit here. Or, sorry, a little bit. There we go. You can see that the 8 now has set his sights on his teammate, the boss himself. The 89, as the 61 has pulled a significant gap away from the rest of the field here. And right here, you can see that the 51 is making his first stop, or second stop. And this is going to cause a problem because BS is going to comment here in a hot second saying, right here, Agent Orange cannot make it on tires. He did close to 1,000 laps in practice. He knows what the tire wear can and can't be. And because of that, Nathan pit a few laps before the window was open. It was open for fuel, but not for tires. So because of that, Nathan is going to either have to do one of two things. He's going to be balls to the wall and try to make it up and catch a yellow, or he is going to conserve. And he decides to go balls to the wall on that. But yeah, Blakey T has absolutely dominated right now. As the pit stops start cycling on out, you can see that, yeah, with Packers coming on down pit road, he can definitely make it. There is a massive gap. This race goes caution free. Spoilers right now. Brandon is able to maintain P2. But yeah, Blakey T's right there, and you can see that people are starting to get nervous. Tire wear is becoming a factor here, and as we go through the last part of this race, only the major position changes outside of the top 3 is that Baseball Kid elevates himself into P4. Nathan is unfortunately still dealing with his tire wear right there, and Kalen has also dealing with the same thing as well. Piper, though, and Packers are all set to go. They're green as Packers' car right there, so they can go as hard as they want. But because of that, you have people that are significantly saving tire. Blakey T got to a huge advantage, and you can see right there he's starting to save on tire. And we're thinking, oh, is this going to be another Road America where instead of fuel, it's going to be tires? And we're going to see the battle between the teammates back here. Cade is good to go. He's all set. He is trying to get past Brandon, but it is so hard to just not move him out of the way. And he is holding his car exactly where he wants it to. And Cade right there in P3 is trying his hardest to get around his teammate because he thinks he has a shot. However, it's not meant to be. And as Cade, goes up high, he loses ground. And like I said, Brandon's doing everything he needs to, and he's putting his car in all the right places. He is just as fast as the next guy to try to get to the lead here. But yeah, as we kind of go on board with Blakey T again, you can see the gap has significantly shrunk as soon as we go on around this. Go on, show the back. You know it's about to happen here soon. Nathan, as you can see right here, is making his next stop. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it. But yeah, the gap is starting to shrink. The 68 of Pied Piper gets out of the way. 7 of Warscott's going to be doing the same. We're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit here. And here's the gap. Here's the 61. There's the 8, who has got around his teammate there, finally. But the damage is already done. The 61 is able to save the tire needed, and is, I quote, when he did a masterclass at saving tire, he went on record and said that going to the line, he had 1%. He had 3% going into turn 3, and then coming to the line, he had 1%. Should that have been 1 lap longer, he would not have been able to finish. So because of that, he was scored the victory. That is 2 in a row for Blakey T. And like I said, since he has moved to Xfinity, this is adding to his point total in order to make it to Cup next season. Cade, in his one and only Xfinity start, Brought home a P2, and that's exactly what he could have hoped for. Obviously, he wished he could have won, but he'll take a P2. Brandon in the 89 in his second Monday start out of 6, brought home in P3. Good show. Packers P4, and like I said, him and Piper were able to make it all the way. Piper just was locked a lap down, so unfortunately he couldn't do much. But Kalen and Agent Orange, despite starting up towards the front, fell on back to 5th and 7th respectively, leaving Baseball Kid smack dab in the middle. He unfortunately also had a bit of an issue not being able to make it. So Kalen, Baseball, and Nathan all had to pit there. And because of that, it's kind of shook out the points a little bit moving into Monday. Because Nathan's struggles, that allowed 2nd and 3rd to all be within 21 points of each other. Baseball Kid technically didn't lose that many points to him. Only he actually lost 1 point compared to Baseball Kid not being able to lead a lap, which goes to show you that sometimes it benefits you to stay out a little bit longer in order to get that lap led. So because of that, there is a 21-point gap between the top 3 and a 42-point gap over the top 4. Still, with 7 races remaining, anything can happen. So we're going to see how things kind of shake on out. Blinky T is silently moving his way up the standings here. Still, honestly, I would say the top 6 are realistically in the point battle for the day title. So day title meaning like the Sunday points being a day because it's Sunday, and then Monday points being another day because it's Monday. So I feel like in terms of Monday, the top 6 all have a chance at getting it done and taking home the title. So we'll see how that kind of shakes on out. In terms of the stats here, we can see that with Nathan's woes here, he was able to still get a top 10 out of it, but his average finish dropped to an average of 4. However, you can see that others like Blakey T, though, in his 2 starts, has 2 wins, so he's definitely making a statement here. So yeah, I think in terms of the stats, you like it. It's still a little too early to make a proper 5 person power rankings, but in terms of the points, I'm looking at a combined for the Xfinity series, so like Sunday and Monday, and because of that, I'm looking at the 3 best drivers currently in Xfinity right now. I feel has to be Xander in UK, with them essentially just swapping wins, and then you have Monday, which is like right now the Blakey T show. So far, he has not lost a race, and we're going to see at Mid-Ohio if that can continue. So Mid-Ohio is going to be the next race for Xfinity. However, in terms of the dark horse, so these, I feel like the 3 are the ones definitely to watch out for. They're the ones that are going to be hot and ready for action. However, in terms of the dark horses for Sunday, I'm probably going to have to give the D's. D's showed up at New Hampshire, and if he would have raced at Bristol, which he didn't, unfortunately, that's hurting him significantly in the points. He would definitely be up here, probably already in P3, but he's still within a stone's throw of that. So I feel like Dees has something to show at Mid-Ohio. Look for him at Mid-Ohio. And in terms of Monday, I feel like the dark horse to watch out for is definitely, in terms of the Xfinity regulars, regulars also meaning the Cup guys, ones that race week after week, I feel like in terms of Mid-Ohio, he's going to come out of left field, but Packers. Packers is really good at road courses, so I want to see what Packers can do at Mid-Ohio, and I want to see if he can elevate that average finish from a 5th, 4th, and then a 1st at Mid-Ohio. Look for Packers this coming race. And because of that, that is the breakdown of the MRL Xfinity series. Like I said, we're going to be at Mid-Ohio this next Sunday and Monday. If you like what you see, DM me at Private Patton on Twitter. You can hit me up on PSN, The Private Patton. You can hit me up right here, just at Millennium Racing League. Shout me out on Twitter. We have it at Millennium Racy 2. Link will be in the description if you want to join. We already have new people joining for this Sunday, so watch on out for that, because like I said, we're going to be at Mid-Ohio, and it's going to be a blast. Who will come out victorious? We will see then. Until then, this has been your host and your friend, Private Patton, wishing you all a good night. Peace.